All right, part 2 of lesson 7.4 is when we take a look at where we are using logarithms. And first thing I want you to understand is that inverse functions that we studied before, here's two linear functions, they undo each other. So my example I just did is a real cheesy one. If we put 4 in for f, in f, 4x, we'd get 8 minus 3 and would get 5. And the g function should undo that. So if I put my answer 5 in for x in my g function, I'll get back to the 4. So what was x became y, and what was y became x. They undo each other. And we have looked at this before with functions. We looked at it with square root and squares. So that's not a new concept. Well, what I want you to understand, why I threw that in here, is that the log function is the inverse of the exponential function. Okay? So when you see the log base b of x gives you g of x, the inverse is going to undo that. And you need to understand these inverse functions. Here we are raising b to the power of what you would raise b to get x. Well, these are going to undo each other. An exponential and a logarithm undo each other. They're the same base. They're both base b. Okay? So then the b's and the b and the log b cancel, so we just end up with x. And likewise here, this is saying the logarithm base b of b to the x will give you x. Well, yeah, because b to the x, this b to this x equals b to the x. So they undo each other, and that's going to be important when we start finding out or solving logarithmic equations. All right, here we go. So when you remember, or when look at these, remember that when the base is not given, it's base 10. So this expression, remember they don't always throw the variable in. You might need to write your own variable. But this is base 10. So they're saying, I am raising 10 to the exponent I'd raise 10 to get 7. So guess what? Dun, da, 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 I get 7. It's that simple when it's the same base as your power. Okay? Right here, these match. You're just going to get 6. Okay? These match. You're just going to get the exponent. It's asking, what's the exponent? This is asking, what's the exponent? What's the exponent for 5? It's -3. Now, if the 5 didn't match this base for your power, if the base for your logarithm doesn't match the base for your power, then it doesn't work the same. And that could happen. So, you know, if they have the log base 5 of 25 to the 2, well, then you might have to rewrite that. Let's see if I can get it to work. You might have to rewrite that. So it's the log base 5 of 5 squared, which is the log base 5 of 5 to the 4th. And now you say, hey, they match. I just get that exponent 4. But if they match, they just cancel each other out. Whether it's log base 7 of 7 to a power, or up here we have 10 raised to the power. How come it jumped the other way? Never jumps the other way. Or of this one, 10 is raised to the power of the exponent you'd raise 10 to get 7. So realize those undo each other. They're inverses. Okay, so if you're writing the inverse of each of these, I would have to say, okay, I'm going to switch x and y. And now how do I get y to a level I want it to become? I need to take the log of both sides. Okay? And I'm going to take the log base 3. Because then this will cancel. and y would equal the log base 3 of x. And notice how they switched. They switched from an exponential to a logarithm. And I switched the x and the y. So you got to be careful to do that. All right, again on this second one, switch colors. I'm going to switch my x and y. Okay, and now how do I get rid of this? I raise to a power. Oh, I'm going to use blue. Okay, and now those will cancel. So e to the x equals y minus 2. So to get y alone, I have to add 2 to both sides. It didn't matter which order I put it. I could put e to the x plus 2 or 2 plus e to the x. But I found the inverse. Graphing these. Oh, these are not easy to graph, but we'll try it. Okay, base is greater than 1. And since a is 1, we got y equals 1 times b to the x. Anything to the 0 is 1, and then whatever b is, it's going to go up this way. Well, what does an inverse do? An inverse is going to reflect across the line y equals x, and I didn't do a great job of drawing that. Okay, let's try it again. Well, that was cool. I'm here, I'm going up there. That's better. Okay, so when I draw the inverse, this point is reflected across the line to here. This point would be reflected over here, and I don't have a great B, but it's going to look something like that. So kind of makes me think of square root, but it doesn't, because this is going to continue on forever this way. Just like this is going to continue forever this way. Notice it will never hit that vertical axis. So when I look at my domain, x has got to be greater than 0. But now the range, y is any real number. Okay? It can be negatives, it can be positives. So there's my graph. The green one is my graph of my logarithmic function. Pretty. If your base is a fraction, then it's going to reflect the exponential decay. And that gets a little tricky too, because you got to remember how that works again. Okay? So when you reflect it, I want a different color. So this is reflected here. This is reflected here. Okay? So it's going to go this way. And it doesn't seem to be a whole lot different, but it is, because again, your domain, x has to be greater than 0, and your range can be any real number. Y is a member or an element of the real numbers. Okay? So just some quick looks at that. I hope I didn't concentrate too much of graphing these. This is easier because now you have a base. Okay, so when x is 1, the logarithm is 0. The exponent for anything to get 1 is 0. Okay, if x is 3, the exponent is 1. If it's 9, the exponent is 2. If it's 1/3, the exponent is -1, and so on. So there's my graph. Ready? And how is 1/3 different? Okay, the 1/3 is different in that when you have your exponent being -1, now your number is 3. Where if it's 1, it's 1/3. So then it's the one that appears that direction. Okay, translations of graphs work the same. Okay, the same as before. We're not going to focus a lot on that, so I'm just going to talk briefly about it. But it moves right and left when it changes x before you do the function stuff in this case logarithm. So that moves it right or left. The k is going to move it up or down. Okay? So when I see this as a base 2, the plus 3 means I'm going to go left 3. Okay? All right, so again, this is going to make it go left 3 and up 1. So it's a base 2. So normally it would go like this, wouldn't it? And so on, it would look a lot like the square root function, but it goes forever. But if it's going to go left 2 and, or excuse me, left 3 and up 1, now it's going to be over here, isn't it? Okay? So your domain, x has to be greater than negative 3, but your range, y, is still in a real number. But up 1 just kind of shifted where this point was. Everything else is the same. All right, so there was a quick look at the graphs. We've kind of wrapped up the intro to logarithms. Remember, a logarithm really is asking, what is the exponent? Okay, so if I have something like log base 4 of 32, it's saying, well, what's your exponent for 4 to get 32? That's what this lesson really was trying to get across. The graphs, you know that they just about drown you in graphs in this book, this series. So I don't stress too much about graphs of logarithms. I do of exponentials. I do of quadratics, not so much of logarithms.